First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. Greg Nibbler here with Fox 12 Now. Thanks for joining us live from our digital desk at the Fox 12 Oregon headquarters, the newsroom. That is where we're at. And one of the great things we get to do here is do deeper dives and talk to some of the personalities you may know from KPTV, from Fox 12 Oregon. And of course, Eric from Around the House Northwest is somebody you definitely know. Every Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific, you can watch the new episodes. And right now, we are joined by the man himself, Eric Goranson. Eric, thank you for being here. This is your first time on Fox 12 Now.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Thanks for having me. This is exciting.
Yeah, really appreciate you joining in. And, I wanted to start off, since this is the first time on the show, and in case anybody doesn't know, how did you get into this line of work that you do?
Oh, man, it's funny. It all started out in high school, actually, taking a radio TV production class. It was that simple. I wanted to do radio and TV back then and got into it and got my first radio job in my senior year of high school doing that. And then quickly realized living in Kennewick, Washington, that I could make $2 more an hour in 1989 at McDonald's than I could in radio there. So that slowed down and I went and got into kitchen and bath design.
Yeah, I also was in radio, and yeah, you're not going to get rich off of that. That's just, it's not going to work. It's a lot of fun, though.
I could get rich making fries compared to working on radio back then. So
seriously,
it's just
yeah. I think it's still like that. But regardless of that, so you went from wanting to be in radio, to taking a sidestep to making some fries, and then going into kitchen redesigns and bathroom redesigns and all of this stuff that you do. So what was your draw to that?
It's funny. I was actually working back in Kennewick. I was going to college and, up in the Tri-Cities, and I actually blew my knee out, and I was actually working in their door section, door and millwork area, and I was helping with some stuff and had to have an ACL surgery, and they're like, hey, we're going to put you someplace where you can sit down for a few months because you can't be on this polished concrete floor with those crutches. You're going to kill yourself. So I said, cool, put me over kitchen design. I did some in another job before, and let me jump into that, and I did that for 29 years.
Wow. Like just through an accident and then ended up doing that for 29 years.
Exactly. Loved it. Loved the creativity. I always loved architecture. And so it was one of those things that, I grew up as a kid watching This Old House in the first seasons and was really inspired by that. And just loved the whole remodeling and kitchen and bath design scene. And just went out and had fun, moved to Seattle, and I was up there for, 12 or 14 years, and then got tired of that up there with traffic and moved to Portland here about 11, 12 years ago.
Wow. Well, Seattle traffic is definitely bad. Ours is not the greatest, depending either, but yeah, that's true. Still better. So you're doing this for all that time. How did you transition into, the radio and podcast, and then making your way into television?
So my last few years in Seattle, I knew a bunch of the hosts up there that were doing home improvement stuff on the weekends. And a few of them went, hey, Eric, you want to fill in for my show when I go on vacation? I'm like, yeah, and I know radio. So I did that for a while. So that was kind of fun. And I do that a couple times a year, and it was a real good time. I moved to Portland. I started up my own design business again. And then there was a show that has been now it's my show, 35 years on the air on the radio in Portland, which was Around the House. And at the time it was with Handyman Bob. So I was an advertiser on it, and he invited me on the show, and he goes, hey, you want to be my co-host? Not knowing that his plan was to retire in a year or two. So we did that for a bit, and all of a sudden I was the host of the Around the House show.
That's amazing. So yeah, he's going to retire. You get to slide right in there as the host, combining the things that you love. You've got radio, entertainment, and doing all the designs and everything like that. So you go from there into the television side of things. And talk to us about the show, too. For anybody who hasn't seen it, can you give us a rundown of what exactly it is you do?
Yeah, and actually how I slid into doing the television, just to give a little background on that, is I actually did about 6 years with More Good Day Oregon here on Fox 12. I was the home improvement expert. I did segments for about 6 years, every other week or so, just doing little 5-minute segments. And of course, now we've got Around the House Northwest, which is, a 1 hour television show on everything about your home. We're trying to bounce off the rails. If we can make it about your home somehow, we're going to do it.
So tell us about some of the episodes, some of the different things that you do, because you mentioned bounce around and do everything with the house. Like, how do you come up with your content?
So we've got one segment that we kind of created early on when the show first started airing back in February called Made in the Northwest, where I go around with my team, and I've got a great team with me that puts this all together. But I basically go out and find stuff that's made right here in our backyard. And it could be Wesco boots, watching them make boots. It could be where we're at this weekend out at Skyline Homes, where they're building affordable housing.
So all over the board.
Yeah, we've been out to Bob's Red Mill. We just a few weeks ago did Pendleton Woolen Mills, and that's just one of 4 or 5 segments within the show.
So what's one of your favorite segments that you've shot so far, if you had to pick one?
Ooh, there are so many good segments. I think one of the most fascinating right off the bat when we first started doing it was the Wesco boots, watching them make boots like they've done for 100 years by hand. And they had all these just old equipment that was 75 years old, that was, shoving a needle through 7 layers of leather and stuff like that. That was just, it was a violent process of making a beautiful boot, which was cool. And then we've got some new stuff here as well. We just, we went out and watched Ansax Tile make beautiful handcrafted tile that they make out there in North Portland that gets sold across the country. So there's a lot of that. Even last week where we did Summit Trailers, watching them build really nice utility trailers. That was a lot of fun.
That's really cool. Getting to see the actual process, like you said, 75-year-old equipment that's still in use, violently punching holes through things.
I mean, it was so crazy. They had this machine that punched eyelets that you would put your laces through in a boot. Well, since there's 3 or 4 layers there, it sounded like a gun going off because the machine punched it and shoved this piece of metal through and bound it together. And it was just old school, not a lot of safety guards, but these people did it, and it was beautiful. It was kind of a violent ballet of people just creating beautiful things.
Violent ballet. Yeah, that's a great description right there. Now I want to watch that episode for sure. But I love those behind the scenes things, like seeing how stuff is actually made like that, and knowing that's right here in the Northwest too, which again, that's one of the great things. Like, this is based here. You get to see things that are going on here in the Northwest. And with that, I guess, let me ask you this question. You may not have an answer, I don't know, but what would be your dream remodel? Is there something that's on the list that you want to do?
I've been tackling so many things. I'm just getting ready to start on the outdoor kitchen part right now, because during COVID, I did my my master bathroom, which is this super high-tech master bath that I did, and then my kitchen as well. So now I'm kind of working on the outside, but putting in the outdoor kitchen and cabinetry is one of my next ones that are coming up that I can't wait to do. I'm doing it on my house, as well as a brand new big custom walnut front door. So I got a couple big ones that I'm waiting to do that I'm really excited to tackle, because they're going to be one of those things when you do in your house, it just makes a huge difference and can change things that quickly.
It can, yeah. Even just little things can change everything. All the feel about it, just all of that can change so quick. But I want to know more about this outside kitchen really quick. How extensive of an outside kitchen are we talking about?
It's probably as big as some smaller kitchens. It's a kind of an 8x10 area it's got a 8-foot by 8-foot raised bar. I've already had that in, but now
Nice.
I'm working on the cooking side, where I'm going to be putting in drawers and cabinets and a barbecue and that kind of stuff. So it's all going to be coming together right there. So I'm in the design process of that. And of course, being a kitchen and bath designer, that kind of bringing me back to my old school days of designing kitchens.
Nice. That you got to have some parties over there for that.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, please do, because that already sounds way better than my backyard. So talking about the show, and again, everybody can watch it on Saturdays. We also have reruns that'll be on there as well. But Saturdays at 10 a.m. What do you have coming up for this week?
So this week we've got some great stuff. We've got Skyline Homes, which is a manufactured housing here. I mean, they build some beautiful stuff coming up. And that's really showing how they start out with metal, and you've got a home coming up the other side. The video you're showing right there is out in my outdoor kitchen area, where I'm building some inside corner steps.
I didn't realize that I had that video. I was trying to grab the right one, but now that I did it, I've got a much better idea of what's going on there.
Yeah, so that area on the
Nice
other side of that
backyard, man.
hammock, I had to move the hammock out of the way to do the shot there, but on the other side of that is my outdoor kitchen.
That's awesome. And the fact that you get to use your own house for all of this. I mean, that's pretty great.
That's the fun part. And what I like about that too is that I can really, and this is my perform like a pro segment. So we do a tackle a big kind of project that's usually 5 to 12 minutes long that we tackle every single week. And if it doesn't show you how to do it, maybe it'll inspire you to tackle it. We've got one coming up that's a brand new product that I made the biggest difference out of one project I've done coming up next week's show, not tomorrow's, but the next week. And it's a fencing product that's steel fencing out of Australia that I brought in. It's cool stuff.
What? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. You're selling on all of this right now. Well, for everybody watching, what is the best way to follow along with everything that you do? I mean, clearly watch the show, but what are some other ways they can follow along, or maybe send in ideas or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, just head over to the Fox 12 app, or just over to Fox 12 to the website, and just look for the Around the House across the top. You can go in there and find that, and you can contact us there. There's a great contact us right there. And then YouTube, go over to the Fox 12 YouTube. You can watch every one of our previous episodes. I think we got about 80 plus videos over there, and you can watch any of these individual segments that grab your eye.
Nice. Well, Eric, thank you very much for being on here to talk about this. Maybe we can catch up very soon, and continue talking about this and doing some teases for the next episodes and all of that.
Oh, I'd love to, man. And yeah, we've got a lot of knowledge to spread out there, so looking forward to it.
Sweet. All right, Eric, thank you so much.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
There we go. Eric Goranson right here on Fox 12 Now. Really appreciate that and him joining. And appreciate all of you who are watching right now, too. So I'm just going to let you know we're going to be taking a break here in a second. But coming up, I'm going to remind you again, about 2 p.m., we're going to be talking about what? Otters. Yes. Oh, don't have the video up, so you're going to have to wait until 2 p.m. So that way you can tune in with that. The Oregon Zoo joining us to talk about marine life. Another great conversation we're going to get to have here on Fox 12 Now. So thanks for joining. And everywhere you watch Around the House Northwest, you can also watch this show too. So watch both. Make a plan for that. So thanks for tuning in. We'll be back at 2 p.m. Pacific. So come right back wherever you're watching now. Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler.